The samples that were sent came in with either a missing evidence tag or an evidence tag that wasn't signed. That's
and here we go.
Welcome to the freak show, the best in town.
There's going to be patterns that start to emerge in these documents. They're going to be too easy to poke holes in. We just broke through the front line way too easy the second we got our first shot at them. Within hours, it's so obvious. We have to slow down, and rather than only get worked up on, that's contradicting and that's wrong. All of this happened before the narrative. I just want to make sure everybody's reminded of that. We're going to be going over these knife sheath photos tonight. I questioned if the shit even existed.
my first question when I saw it, because of how pristine it was, is I said, do we 100% know? Did they actually say in the documents that this is the actual knife sheath, or is this the knife sheath they bought off of Amazon? Because law enforcement bought a knife and knife sheath off of Amazon to basically recreate, and they were going to bring in a replica to the courtroom. And so my first question when I saw how pristine it was, is this the actual knife sheath or a replica that they're showing this is what it would have looked like? I guess it's supposed to be the actual knife sheath, which again, as everything in this case, leads to more questions than answers.
You've heard enough about these autopsy reports, or the generalization of them, right? If you haven't even gone into the weeds, if you're somebody that's just heard how brutal this is, right? And then this is found right next to the victim, and it's got specs.
Right. There was a lot of, so I do play devil's advocates even with myself. So when I saw how pristine it was, I thought to myself, is there any part of the story that it could explain the utter lack of blood on that knife sheath? Because it was supposed to be found under the body, right? It was found under Maddie. And so I thought, but then I was like, okay, well, let's play devil's advocates with it. If under Maddie meant under the bed, kicked under the bed, because Maddie was on the bed and it was under the bed, then maybe you can explain why it's not swimming in blood kind of thing. Because I was trying to figure out, how could you possibly say it was found under a body that had been stabbed multiple times and not be covered in blood? So I was trying to figure out how both stories can be true. Best I could come up with is under the body meant she was on the mattress, and it was under the mattress, and it was under the bed, and therefore blood wasn't dripping on it. That's the best I could come up with.
If you're dead and you get stabbed and your heart's not beating, is blood spatter way less?
Sure. Yeah, because blood's not flowing if your heart stopped beating, kind of thing, and it tends to just pool. And what you see on the knife sheath is spatter flecks. You don't see, and here's what bothered me the most. I don't know if people realize this, but when Ann Taylor presented the 4 alternative suspects, they said that they tested those 4 suspects against the blood on the back of the knife sheath, which led me to believe there must be a substantial mixed blood sample on the back of the knife sheath, to which they said the 4 alternative suspects can be excluded as possible contributors to the blood on the knife sheath. All of that led me to think we're going to see a knife sheath covered in blood. And then I saw they're like little tiny flecks that you can't even see, that they've circled and said, here's where a fleck was. And I'm like, so how did you sample that for 4 different people and exclude them off of what's on that knife sheath? Like, I have more questions than answers on that shit.
It could have been planted.
So here's what I think. I know this is not going to make people happy. I think that the feds believed that Kohberger, and probably, and I hate to say this, but I got another video coming out tomorrow that I'm going to lay all of this out. I think the feds thought that Kohberger and Brent Kopaka did the murders, and they think they knew about that early on. If you remember, Brett Payne said under testimony that the first time they heard about Bryan Kohberger's name was on the 19th of December. And under oath, Ann Taylor grilled him and said, so when was the first time you heard Bryan Kohberger? The 19th. So it wasn't until the 19th that you heard his name? Correct. And she hit it like 5-6 times, making sure she was knocking him down to the first time you heard of Bryan Kohberger was the 19th. But Brett Payne also said that the FBI was co-located with them for weeks ahead of that. And then a document comes out, and I showed it on the video that you're talking about, where on the 5th of December, weeks before the 19th, when they said they knew of Bryan Kohberger, Moscow Police Department had a document where one name was redacted in the there was 2 suspects. One's redacted, and we still can't see who the other suspect is. But one of the 2 suspects was listed as Bryan Kohberger on the 5th of December. And I lost my shit. So then I'll explain it to people if you're not understanding. Why does it matter? Why does it matter if they knew about Kohberger on the 5th or the 19th? It matters everything. It matters everything. And I can explain why. So then I started looking through the evidence collection, and wouldn't you fucking know? Evidence was tampered with, or there's evidence of evidence tampering. The samples that were sent came in with either a missing evidence tag or an evidence tag that wasn't signed. And so they wrote in there, hey, when we got this wasn't signed. So I went ahead and put a new sticker on it, and they signed it. That's fucking bullshit. And I'll tell you why. Let me explain as best I can. Here's a scenario. If the feds already thought Bryan Kohberger was involved in that murder by the 5th of December, Othram Labs were still testing the DNA and quit working on the DNA on the 10th of December. Now listen carefully. On the 5th of December, Bryan Kohberger's listed on a document as a suspect in this crime on the 5th. On the 10th, 5 days later, Othram Labs is told to stop working on the DNA because they couldn't get it to Bryan Kohberger. They got it to 4 brothers who, if you went to CrimeCon, they'll tell you, were 4 brothers from Pennsylvania, which none of them were Bryan Kohberger. The FBI told Othram Labs
None
to
of
stop
them.
working on it.
None of them.
None of them were Bryan Kohberger. None of them were Kohberger's last name. None of them. And then they developed through techniques that they refused to talk to Ann Taylor about. They refused to show it. Bryan Kohberger has the right to see what evidence is presented against him and how they got to him. And they said, nope, we won't show it to you. It's law enforcement secrets. We don't have to show you. And she's like, yeah, you do have to show us. You can't put somebody away without them being able to challenge the evidence you have against them. Nope, we're not going to show you. And they intended never to show anybody how they got to it. So the point being is, if they felt that Bryan Kohberger was the person involved or one of the people involved on the 5th, and Othram Labs couldn't get them what they wanted, which was Bryan Kohberger's name because they know Bryan Kohberger's involved with it, they just took over and made it Bryan Kohberger. And then they told us, oh, by the way, we have reason to believe that this DNA sample has a high likelihood of being Bryan Kohberger, and Bob's your uncle. And then everybody went out from there on out and said, well, they've got Bryan Kohberger's DNA at the scene. No, they did not. They had DNA of one of 4 brothers from Pennsylvania. None of them were Kohberger. And the FBI did some machinations and then said, oh, trust us, it somehow gets to Kohberger. So, and then you've got evidence tampering in there and all kinds of stuff, which indicates to me that they already knew who they wanted for the crime. And here's the thing. They couldn't put him there. What did they do? According to Ann Taylor, they planted evidence to put him at the scene because they couldn't put him in the house. There was no DNA. There was nothing. Kohberger, if he did go into the house, he left nothing there. And they're like, fuck it, we know he did it, so we've got to put him in the house. So we'll put DNA in the house and we'll say it's Bryan Kohberger, and we'll lean on Molly McMichael to say that she saw Bryan Kohberger that night walking into the house, which she did not. And that was horseshit, and that fell apart. They tried 2 different ways to put Bryan Kohberger in the house. And at the end of the day, Bill Thompson got up in front of all of us and said, we can't put Bryan Kohberger in the house. I want to tease one more thing. I want people to have a chance to go watch my video that's dropping 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, because what happened is when I made that video, and I talked about, I believe Othram Labs developed the DNA to the 4 brothers who were Brent Kopaka from Pennsylvania. A guy busted my balls on that video and said, I hate to burst everybody's bubbles, but Kopakas never were from Pennsylvania. This guy's wrong. Here's Kopaka's family. Here's their names. And none of them are from Pennsylvania. He's fucking wrong. And I lost my shit today. And I made a video, an hour and 20 minutes long, where I show you all the receipts that proves Kopaka's family is from Pennsylvania, that proves the whole thing, and lays out more specifically how I think Brent Kopaka met Bryan Kohberger and how that whole thing happened. It's a little circumstantial, but again, as I say in the video, you love circumstantial evidence because you just convicted a man on circumstantial evidence. There's nothing really putting Kohberger there. So you apparently love circumstantial evidence. So I got circumstantial evidence for you that's even better than the circumstantial bullshit you bought on the Bryan Kohberger.
Dude, hey, yes. I mean, said, bro.
I'm irritated. I kind of let that guy have it with both barrels, and I think he just got, unfortunately, to get the entire wrath of everybody challenging me on the devil's advocates is wrong. Brent Kohberger had nothing to do with it. He wasn't even in Pennsylvania. My ass. I prove just watch the video. I prove his mom is in Pennsylvania, and I give you a real good reason why Brent Kopaka was also in Pennsylvania. I cannot prove Kopaka was in Pennsylvania, but I can put his mom there, and I can tell you exactly why I think Brent Kopaka was there, and I can tell you why I think he met Amanda Kohberger, and I can tell you why he met Bryan Kohberger, and I can give you all the things and why I think they met in Pennsylvania and came out here. And I think the feds were watching them since they came out together. But
dude, well said. And thank you to Beth, who gave us a $10 super chat saying just love and respect for you both. Lee to Lee B, and then Beth again. Just as a reminder, any super chats or tips, the tip link, the mods will drop, but super chats and tips will pop up right here. Anything over $4.99, which I will address immediately. And DA, I got to say, what you just did and what you just laid out there, not many people have like the internal fortitude, the intestinal fortitude to do, where somebody said something in your comments that stuck with you. You didn't go out of your way necessarily to just attack them. You said you brought the receipts. That's dropping tomorrow at 8 a.m. But you've also heard things on this stream for months now about these 4 brothers. And what are the coincidences? I believe the analogy that you used, if my memory serves me correct, is that you said, if we were sitting in a bar and you just so happen to be from this town in Pennsylvania, and then so is this person from that town in Pennsylvania, and now you're in little Moscow, Idaho, or Pullman, Washington, and all this goes down and there's connections to X, Y, and Z. Yeah, that's a trip. That's a trip that doesn't happen.
Yeah, and another thing, by the way, that was new to me when I was making the video rant addressing this guy's, hey, you're wrong. There was an early video, I don't know if you remember, Brent Kopaka was on a video where he, on body cam, it was a different incident, where he said, he gave the address of where he was staying, and it was Pimlico Apartments, not the coffee house apartments where he was staying when he was shot and killed. He said he was staying at Pimlico Apartments. That is literally right next door to where Bryan Kohberger's apartments were. They were literally right next to it. If he gave the address correctly, Pimlico Apartments was right beside the Steptoe Apartments where Kohberger was at. They were literally like neighbors right beside each other. The story about him being at the coffee house apartments, there's reason to believe that was all horseshit. And if you watch watched the video of the shooting, there was no furniture in that house. I'm not sure Kopaka was staying at the Coffee House Apartments. I think that was all part of the cover-up. They done fucked up and they killed Kopaka, and they were left with only one guy left that they thought was involved with the crime, and they couldn't put him at the crime scene, so they did their damnedest to make sure they put him at the crime scene.
You have to start to wonder, DA, that direction, the countless directions that I've gone into, the countless directions that many other people who have dove into these documents have gone into. This was all known, and holy hell, blue eye candy. Let's go. Top dog. Finally heard the 911 radio dispatch traffic. Lana, Truth and Transparency, finally heard what I expected to hear as former 911 dispatcher. Confirmed 4 victims. The first victim, not conscious, not breathing. Acknowledged a bloody scene and first responders radio traffic. Hang on. So Lana put out the 911 radio dispatch traffic. So what does the person receiving the call actually say to the police officers? Correct me if I'm wrong, DA. Like, I know it's simple, but I just want to make sure.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah. I got to ask a really, really difficult question. This is going to be really challenging for the audience. Let's say for a minute that my theory that I have, and it's not, again, it's not going to be super popular, but let's say my theory was right. It was one of the first things I said. What if Bryan Kohberger was just the getaway driver? What if Bryan Kohberger literally that night?
You've always come back to that.
Right? What if he drove by and picked up Kopaka, took him to the house? Kopaka said, maybe even Kopaka said, hey, I'm going to go in and get some stuff. I'll be right back. Maybe Kohberger didn't even know what happened. Maybe he was there at the scene, right? What if that happens? Now, here's the problem I have. And this is a challenging, hard question. And I don't know how even I necessarily totally feel about it. Well, I kind of do. But if they know, if law enforcement knows in the bottom of their soul that it was committed by Kohberger and somebody else, and that somebody else is now dead and they can't prosecute that person, but somebody has to be held accountable, and they know Kohberger was involved, is it okay for you that they make that guy go down one way or another? Because at the end of the day, he was involved. So is it okay if you need to break the law, fake some evidence, plant the evidence at the scene to make sure you get the guy that you know damn well was there, but he was just too good and didn't leave anything behind? So you're going to make sure that he gets caught and spends the rest of his life in jail so that the family gets justice? Do you feel that's right? Or is there a part of you that says, you're going to have to, in this case, let a killer go free or somebody who is an accomplice go free because you can't break the law to get the bad guy? And it's I'm not even telling you how to feel about it. It's a really difficult question, because if Kohberger was involved and they knew it, but they couldn't prove it, is it okay for them to break the law to make him go down for it when they couldn't prove it?
Well, let me take that a step further, because I will see people, and also my own personal opinion, right? Like, I would say, I don't think Bryan was at the house for that manner in the getaway driver, but it's not to say that, none of us know. I'm also not trying to pussyfoot against that. That's my belief. That is my belief, right? And I also know that you've had your theory for a while too. But I want to talk about the question that you just said at the end. Well, why would they feel righteous enough to do that? How could they be able to lay their head on their pillows at night knowing they did that? What is your answer? Because I have a rather obvious one now, given everything else.
If they're willing to lie to everyone in America and essentially shame people like you and I for questioning the narrative, which we know is bullshit, and they're making us look like we're assholes for pointing out the fact that the facts they're not adding up. The math's not mathing. Well, yeah, it's not mathing because they lied. So if they're going to shame us for pointing out that you lied, how far will it go? How much are you going to lie? Again, you have to ask yourself, if they're going to lie about this, what else are they going to lie about?
We're also working within the confines of bullshit. Right? We're working within the confines of a narrative story, of a narrative case, meaning there's a really good argument to be made. Is suspect vehicle 1 the plainclothes police officers in the Ford Fusion? Is it the Elantra? People have their opinions on it. Here's the thing. How is that even in question still? Right? Like, that's my point, DA. I'm trying to look at it from a 40,000 foot view. I can acknowledge, and most people in here can acknowledge, that there is a multitude of things that make more sense than others, no matter which theory you believe. But let's talk about the 40,000 foot view. Name another homicide case with a serial killer or just a lone wolf where there's this much footage, this many documents, these many interviews. He did, and even if it's not Bryan, and there's other people's DNA and suspects, listed in the reports, you got no timeline. You got no account for where Xana and Ethan are. You're going off of grainy ass footage. That in itself is what I'm trying to get through to people's heads. We know what they are telling us is not true. While yes, that is important to continue to yell from the rooftops, we also need to keep ourselves in check. We are ahead of the curve in a lot of ways in this case. There are people who, for the first time ever, are just now tuning in to shows like this after seeing continued interviews or footage of Kohberger being released in prison or complaints that it's weird. It's waking people up, and they're just now tuning in. So the part that I want to say is this is too easy to poke holes in, to think that anybody in many agencies, many court systems, many families would ever put up with. And it's wild that it's all been tied into a perfectly tied bow in the media. And that's what I'm saying is, like, we have to slow down. Yes, It's wrong. Let's address that. There's 1,000 things. We've already said it. There's going to be more and more and more. It's going to continue to keep us spinning our wheels. This is all wrong. This is all wrong. That's not right. Oh my God. They should have known because of this. But what about the 40,000 foot view? Instead of saying it's wrong, why? Why are they doing that? And there's only a couple of reasons. It's a cover up. They really did just do dirty bad. But then they also know they're going to be held accountable, which is stupid because they're not trying to hide their names or anything.
Unfortunately, a lot of people will just get swept under the rug because they don't have national spotlights on them. And I think they thought that maybe they had the ignorance of thinking that nobody would pay attention and this would just be an easy to fudge something, put somebody in jail, and it's done. But as they started to get more and more criticism, they had to make more and more cover-ups to cover up the fact that they've been covering stuff up, because that's where they're really going to get in trouble. If it's proven that they've been covering things up, then people are going to potentially go to jail. People are going to lose their licenses. People are going to get disbarred if they're in legal profession, fired, lose their pensions. Like, there could be major repercussions for the people who try to cover this up. So everyone at this point is protecting their careers, because if it comes out that they were covering stuff up, and then it just perpetuates the cover-up, because you got to cover up that you're covering it up, because you're fucked. Like, everybody's going to be in big trouble.
I've thought contrarily on everything. Okay, Brian Laundrie was never at his parents' house. Maybe Shanann did walk in on Chris Watts. Maybe right. Stephen Avery was framed by his defense team. All of these theories, boom, and it's not about them taking off. It's rather the lack of friction from just people who have followed the case. This, if you just say Bryan Kohberger might have been framed.
Yeah.
The first line of the defense isn't even the news shutting it down. It's a bunch of weirdos, psychos who want to end your life and wish you were dead.
Right.
It's insane.
Yeah, there's a lot of hatred out there. Yeah.
Let's just show people that we're not playing around anymore. Let's just show people that maybe we've been the easy target and been a little bit too nice. And let's just actually go and you up like you're trying to threaten us that you're going to do. Because it would be really easy.
Yeah. And
there's more of us than there are of you. It has been that way.
Yeah.
People have just been afraid to come out of the woodwork until they've had a spot to actually feel like they've been heard. Okay? I'm not threatening anybody. I'm not trying to be a hard ass. I'm just saying I'm done taking it personally too.
Yeah, you'll say whatever you can say for clickbait. Fuck you. Do you realize the media, mainstream media, has been clickbaiting your ass the whole time and getting commercials put on there, getting money off of you watching their bullshit? They've been clickbaiting your ass for fucking years. So I don't want to hear crap about me clickbaiting you, because I'm trying to get to the bottom of what really happened. Anyways, okay, I'm done.
I've actually had a theory that it's time to start clickbaiting normies, because everybody in here is seeing like what we're doing. And I said, yeah, maybe it's time for us to start clickbaiting stuff. And that's why I did the whole, like, I changed my mind on Bryan Kohberger. Because I'm just waiting for people to stumble into this hornet's nest. And then all of a sudden they can't get out. They're like, God damn it. Everything Bernie says, I've been thinking, I didn't know people said this. Ashley Banfield got me convinced with the muffin top pictures. So, you know what? I didn't want to watch this, but you got clickbaited. It works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Type of one. If either of those clickbait titles got you into the hive, and if no one's come in, it is what it is. But I'm just curious. Like, is there anybody that maybe saw, oh my God, Bernie changed his mind, and then you watched it and you're like, God damn it, I believe in this.
I got played because you're like, as soon as you started going into I got it. That face, who else makes that face other than a killer? And I was like, you got me, dude. You got me.
Well, and I reserve the right to say this. You guys have my word. Right hand on the Bible on my father's ashes. Like, if there's something that says Bryan Kohberger did this, I'll be the first to sound the alarm if I have the first access to it. So this is Truth and Transparency. This is Lana. This is my first time seeing this. You as well, DA?
Yeah.
Dispatching Moscow Law Ambulance for unconsciousness, 1122 King Road.
70 the round for 40 Beacon. Station up.
I was paging a copied 170. What was the second unit going en route?
46.
I copy. Multiple RPs on the phone advising a roommate on scene is passed out, not waking up, believes they got drunk last night, and states something about a male being in the room with them. Trying to get further. Units responding, RPs advising the patient is not conscious, not breathing.
Does that sound anything like the 911 operator? That was my first thought.
Oh.
It doesn't sound like the voice.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the same person. No. This is a dispatcher, not the 911 call. Yeah.
Okay. But still, I mean, I don't know if it would be the same person. That could have also just been a very stupid comment. In my mind, I'm like, I would think that it would be the same person relaying from, just based on how quick shit has to happen. How does that person, right? I don't know. So.
Yeah.
Copy, not conscious, not breathing. Moscow 46 out.
Copy.
13, I think we have a homicide. 1370.
Have the driver. Address someone I relayed it.
Multiple investigations out.
Copy.
1370, information. 2 college-age people appearing both to be deceased. Lots of blood. I copy. Make sure there's EMS if they are DOT. Yeah, they're DOT. Copy, start locking it down. Shadow 153, keep bringing my camera. For my flip around, where's it located? Charging. Copy. Monster 113 there.
113, I copy. And just checking, did you want EMS to continue in or stage until otherwise notified?
Begin the stage.
I copy, Steve.
4613. We're going to be clearing the house. It's not 100% empty. Copy. Make sure you get everybody's name. Look up. 13105, they're on call today. Copy, thank you. 13, we have 2 additional deceased on the 3rd floor. I copy. Mossy, if we have footprints coming out the back and open door.
So can I just ask this as we're going through this? Why don't we hear any of this in any body cam? That's all I'm asking. Like why is it? So what is this from? Help me understand that. I'm not trying to be a douchebag here. How do we not hear this? Yeah. Where's the voice?
Yeah. Good question.
13 copy. 13 said 1 corner is notified. Last 36 will attach.
Fine.
You know what we need to do? And I'm not going to pause it after this, DA. I'm going to say this. I'm going to screen record this audio, and I'm going to link it up with the body cam footage. And I bet.
See if you see anybody actually radioing this stuff in so that they are getting this information. Yeah.
No, but I was going to say, I bet that I'd be curious if the body cam that we see, right, from Nunes getting out of his car lines up with this.
Yeah.
It's also
it feels like this is too fast. It feels like this is going too
Sped
fast
up.
for what we saw in the videos. Yeah, but
this seems like it's doubled in speed. I'm not going to change anything with it right now. I just want people to know, like, this is worth diving into because we don't hear anything that's said in this call as they're apparently walking through the scene. So did they dub over this? But if they dubbed over this, then how did they know it if nobody's saying it on the body cam footage? Is my point.
Yeah.
That's right out.
Confirming the middle, the radio cut out.
Hey,
12-0. 146, he's clear touched.
5-3, I'm here with the camera. Copy, I'll be down that way in a second. 5313, let's encompass the parking lot too for this address. I copy.
113, Moscow.
Go ahead.
Just information, there's a name and number CC'd into the call. I can provide details of the radio on the phone if you needed it.
I copy.
1225.
4613, let me know when 102 arrives. Okay. Moscow 113, I have 5 registrations to run.
Go on.
Next.
Go on. Go on. Go on.
The fuck is this?
15 in.
Fucking redactions.
Oh my God.
Copy. Did you need a read back or just attach to the call?
Just a tabby.
I got
Moscow 70, can I get the time this call was generated?
time of call 11:56.
Copy, thank you.
12:38.
Moscow 102.
102.
I'm out on King Road in Neighbor.
Dude, great point right here. The knife was already on the table, and where's Hunter when they show up?
Yeah.
Guys, you got to understand. You could reason with this is dubbed over or this is that. This is not normal. This is not normal in any way, shape, or form. I'm trying to say this, not that I'm like going out of my way to look for shit on X or Instagram. I've seen like Russian dudes climb up power lines and touch a power line and get zapped to death and fall 1,000,000 feet to their death. And it's terribly traumatizing. I didn't even expect to see it. We've gotten how many versions of this 911 call of when they show up on the scene? What is this? And then there's going to be people that reason with like, oh, well, they dubbed it over for this reason or that reason. Well, just where's the original body cam footage then? Why not? Like, are you releasing this then to cause confusion? Yes. Why?
Status.
Copy.
Moscow 107.
107.
I'm in service in King Road.
1240.
Moscow 170.
Go ahead.
Out and route. Back to the PD for paperwork.
1253.
Moscow 107, I'm on scene. No status.
1253. 113 Malco.
Go for 13.
My partner was wondering who we should be directing media and public information questions to.
You can just put their information in the call notes, 102 today.
My partner was wondering who we should be directing media and public information questions to.
They're already asking.
Yeah.
I got to stop pausing this. I'm going to sit on my hands.
You can just put their information in the call notes, 102 today. Be primary on that.
I copy. Thank you. 170 Moscow.
1170.
I'm not sure if you're still at the station. A few people called that were asked to respond to the PD for this case. Advise they're out front.
W172 is going to meet them out front.
1328.
7213. When you get a second, can you bring me a radio battery? Can you deny your other? Can you bring me a radio battery? 1346. If it's about the two gentlemen carry the items, I am aware. Negative, there's just a male in a gray shirt, black and gold sweatpants, looked super distraught when he looked up here. Just down off Taylor.
Dude, this is earlier in the night. I already know.
Moscow units, there's a male subject last at the PD waiting for an officer.
Moscow 11 copy. You know what it's in reference to?
Call 95.
111.
1349.
Moscow 170.
Go ahead.
I'm en route to the county prosecutor's office.
I copy.
That's a good question. Type a 1 if you are a dispatcher or former dispatcher in the Hive tonight. Great question, Blue Eyed Candy. And I figured Blue Eyed Candy was kind enough to give, the $50 super chat. I wanted to show this. It was only a 10-minute video. But that's a great question. How many people in here have experience with dispatch or have been around it? Oh, wow. You see that, DA?
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, this just sounds like it's coming in the middle of everything. Like, it sounds late at night. Wow, 10 years, Blue Eyed Candy.
Paramedic, 16.
Paramedic, 16. I just saw that, yeah. CK says yes, more experience than I would like.
Moscow units, there's a front to pick up 2 subjects from the PD, black Subaru Legacy.
Quick copy.
Break 113.
Wait, what was that?
Good.
Sorry.
Subjects from the PD, black Subaru Legacy.
Quick copy.
Break 113 also.
Good.
We had someone call in advising they may have pertinent video footage for you guys. Name and number is in the call.
We copy.
1405. Moscow units is out front of the PD.
Send it everybody.
1416.
Moscow 167, you can show me on King Road.
Why do I feel like Bethany has
Break 113 Moscow.
information?
I don't think he's on radio.
Copy. Break 113 Moscow.
I don't think it's Bethany, bro. I think it's Jenna McClure.
Well, I'm just saying, I think Bethany also may have video footage as well, but yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I think Jenna McClure lived there, hence why her questioning was released as late as it was. And I don't know if you watched it, but it said, I saw them let out Murphy. Think about that. Why would the cops ask Jenna McClure who show up if she just really showed up on the street here? What about Murphy? You got Murphy being walked around on a leash by the cops. No, you're talking about everybody else. Yeah, and Drew says, who is the owner of the white Chevy in the driveway? Is that a rhetorical question, Drew, or is that like it's not Maddie's, right? Because you know what I mean? So, Drew, I feel like I know you well enough. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Crime 2 News is calling advising they have a reporter in the area, wondering if someone would be able to talk to her. Do you want me to tell them that they need to wait for a phone call, or would someone be available to head out there?
I already talked to her. You can tell them she's been talked to.
I copy.
And even if this is dubbed over, how is this happening so quickly after the fact?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Moscow 46, I'll be back around to the scene.
1550.
Moscow 46 up. 7713. Over 77. needing to release 171. Copy, thanks. Fox 113.
Go ahead.
I'll be en route to the station, transporting 140.
Copy.
Moss 113 is back en route to King Road.
Copy.
Moss 113 is back out on King Road.
Roger.
Moss 170, I'm back out of King Road.
Copy.
Moss 146, 1019.
1653. Moscow units, there's a of the PD for contact.
171.
16.
Moscow 176.
Go ahead.
I'm not seeing anyone out here right now.
Copy. Copy with another unit of traffic. Go ahead.
167, 13, 1019.
Copy.
Moscow 107.
107.
You put me out of the station.
1720.
Moscow 176.
Go ahead.
I'm out at King Road.
Copy.
Moscow 153, I'm 108.
Copy.
72, someone. Good. 70's going to leave car 5 for you. Keys are in the ignition. Copy.
Oh my God.
Moscow,
Go ahead.
myself at 70 are clear, King Road and out of the station.
Still on the call.
Negative.
Copy.
Moscow 113 out of the station.
Copy.
Moscow 103 at the station.
Go ahead.
Washington.
Go ahead, Jocelyn.
He's attached at
Copy.
Moscow 129 out on King Road.
2041.
7629. Good. You need to head back out here so I can grab my vehicle. I need to follow the corner. Copy, I'm en route right now. 7629, just stop right there. Moscow 129.
Go ahead.
I'm clear King Road en route to Short. 7629. Good. I think I left that my cell phone in that car. If you could bring it to Shorts for me. I got it. Moscow 176, I'm clear of King Road and myself. And 129 have arrived at Shorts Funeral Home.
2133.
Moscow 176, I'm clear.
2135.
Moscow 129.
Right.
I'm clear Shorts and out to the station.
2213.
Moscow 128 out.
2213.
Moscow 132.
Go ahead.
I'm clear King and out to the PD.
2350.
Moscow 103.
Go ahead.
I'm clear King and you can show me out of service.
Copy. Good night. 2358.
Moscow 72 out of service.
Good night.
Midnight.
Good night.
Moscow
Good night.
29.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this video's this video's truncated a bunch of stuff. It looks like they're so like the audio's. It seems like the audio's legit, but they've truncated stuff and kind of like took out the gaps. So you're seeing massive time dilation. It seems.
In what time? You're going to tell me this
This is going because the times that she's reading out are late at night, right? She's reading. If those are times, 21.
No, look on the
hours.
left upper screen.
Yeah, but didn't they just overlay audio over top of a video? So like these things are not synced together, right? They're playing. So again, this is kind of why I'm hesitant about doing stuff live. It seems like they're overlaying truncated audio that's going late into the night over top of a video that they're just showing, and they're not synced. This is not these people walking through the thing is not related to the audio.
Exactly. So, right, like this is not just like routine privacy stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Right. Like they're absolutely coordinating what the public sees and hears, even after the fact. Guys, Bryan Kohberger is in effing jail for the rest of his life on 4 consecutive life sentences. What are they hiding? No. You want to know what this tells me? This tells me that something institutional is on the line. That's what this shit tells me. This is massive because you're right. They probably overlaid this audio, and I'm going to calm down.
Right.
They overlaid this audio onto the original body cam footage to cause confusion. This original audio has no business being overlaid on this footage. We've watched this footage. You could say, oh, it didn't pick up that, that might. No, they're saying goodnight. It's noon. And then people are going to say, sorry, yeah. If people say that's cop lingo. Okay, well then I guess you got me there, but I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that in conjunction with national security, with redactions, with the DNA, with the not being like able to see anything. Dude.
Again, what I don't know is did Lana overlay audio?
Bruh.
Yeah, because they're clearly, like you said, they're clearly talking about timestamps at night, 2100 hours, 2200 hours, 2300 hours late at the night. You're seeing bright daylight in this image. This video cannot be the video footage that goes along with the audio, because you're right. They're talking about good night. They're talking about timestamps at night. It's just been truncated and thrown over top of the video feed.
And Philly Special, this is Lana's video. That's not yelling at Lana. It's just, I didn't know that going into this. So here I am pausing all this stuff, not knowing that there wasn't this video that you see playing is not correlated with the audio.
Right.
I didn't know that. So that's on me at the end of the day. I'd not seen this footage yet. I didn't even know Lana had this until people emailed me. I will own that, and I'm sorry for any confusion that I caused.
6 on King Road.
146.
Moscow 77 clear.
146.
2911, I'm on the way to you. Moscow 129. 111 is out on King, and I'll be 10. 111, 77, you need one of us to swing by. No, if you got work to do, go ahead and get it done. Savvy. Moscow 11.
Go ahead.
I'm going to be out with some media contacts up here at the King Road address.
Back to it.
Moscow 111.
Go ahead.
Can you log one more perimeter check for me with seals intact on the tape also?
Go ahead.
Let me talk to you a little bit. I'm going to be clear seeing here in a moment.
554.
Moscow 111.
Go ahead.